Well, it's a really big honor being here, and we're really excited with Gabor and I. I don't know, we just don't want to get too overwhelmed with this excitement, and we know we're playing Team Holland. It's going to be amazing.
2013 and 14, I mean, it wasn't pretty. Also, the way we lost, it was pretty heartbreaking. But that's the game. I mean, you're going to have some body blows, and you got to come back from that. And I think we both did in the individual events.
We're going to give it 100%, not to get too overwhelmed, and we want to put up a good fight.
I know the level in Hungary is high, so we have to be on the best of our games, that's for sure. You're not going to be in this event if you're a bad team, so we got to be sharp.
We're here. It's
very big chance.
Yeah, it's a big chance for us.
Thank you very much, Nick. And there you see Team Holland. Niels Fyen will do the lag. His partner, Nick Vandenberg. These two have been together for many years, and as we keep repeating, they came 2 balls away from winning the World Cup of Pool just 2 years ago, rather in 2014. Had to be one of the biggest disappointments of their career, because they had that Alex, pretty much everybody was going, well, they're going to hand the trophy to Holland. They're finally going to do it, and they didn't.
Yeah, but that's exactly the challenge in 9-ball pool, in cue sports in general. Let's make the comparison with tennis. With tennis, if you hit a winner, the point is done. You hit the winner, then it's done. In pool, sometimes you make the winning shot to put yourself in a winning position, and after that it's just 3-4 simple shots, but nothing is simple. So everybody can think what they think, but the match is never done until the last ball is down.
That's exactly right. So Hungary wins the lag, and this will be Gabor Salimoshi, 37 years old. Will be celebrating his 38th birthday in a few days. 5-ball is down.
Now, what we saw, he broke here from the right side of the table. Yesterday we saw about 95% of all breaks being played from the left side. But in the previous match, Wu Jiaqing was breaking from the right side. So Gabor Salimoshi, I think, got some comfort out of that, and he went to his preferred side. Because every player has a preferred side to break from.
Tough opening shot here for Gabor Untal.
That's a nice try. Nice try, but at least he's not leaving a shot on.
So Alex, you being the Dutch national coach, and these two fellows right here, Dutch national team, been top of the heap for the longest time in the Netherlands. How's their game?
Well, they're playing good. They're playing good. Nick is really playing with a lot of confidence. He's at the moment the #1 on the Mosconi Cup, on the European Mosconi Cup rankings. Because to determine who will represent Europe in an upcoming Mosconi Cup, there are 2 rankings, the WPA ranking and the European ranking. And he's looking good to go and represent Europe in Vegas, as he has done on numerous occasions. You know, Niels is, of the 2, the more consistent player. But Nick, now since 8 months, is playing really well. Going deep in every tournament he plays in. Won a Euro Tour.
Their styles are completely contrasting. I've always found that fascinating with these two. Niels is the grinder, the hard worker, the guy who puts in the effort with the long hours of drills, whereas Nick, he tells me he doesn't even like to practice.
Yeah, but there's different ways to practice. There's also just mental imagery. You know, if you sit at home on the couch thinking, being thoughtful about the game, then you're also practicing. Actually, there's research that says that that kind of practice is stronger than the actual time at the table.
Oh.
Now Niels has mishit his tip position. Struck that ball too low. Wrong deflection.
So when it comes to teaching, obviously there's not one size fits all. You have to tailor your program to the player and their personality.
Yeah, but I must say our work now, our federation has determined I need to work more with the younger generation. So I don't work that much with the players. Actually, with Niels and Nick, past couple of months I haven't worked. Well, just the preparation for the European Championships, actually. But yes, you have to tailor the work you do, being a coach or being a player.
Oh no.
Oh,
Foul stroke.
what happened there?
A golden chance to take the first rack against the favored Dutch.
A short circuit there.
Yeah, Salimoshi here. Take a look at it again.
He tried to play rail first there, but the spin he put on the ball made the cue ball curve into the ball, so he never got to the rail. A let off for Hungary, a gift to the Dutch boys. But the last thought on what we talked about that. So it's also for any player, any ambitious player who's trying to work on his game. Not necessarily do you need to copy one's regime. You have to find out for yourself what works best.
Off the ball in hand. The Dutch pair make the easy clear. They lead it 1-0 in this race to 7. The winner will move on to the round of 16. Hungary, very happy to be here because they had gotten runner-up in a qualifying event in Albania. And when team from Hong Kong was forced to withdraw, Hungary got that call. So they were delighted. I was talking to them before the match, just before they went on here, and you could see how excited they were just to be here. But now they've got to compete, and listen, it's a race to 7, Alex, and we keep saying this, anything's possible, but it's really this format is made for exciting upsets.
Yeah. We keep saying that anything is possible, but then we've seen so many matches where the underdogs come close to winning, but then fail to close the deal. So that tells us how much that experience is worth. The experience of being in that situation and then making the right call, playing the right shot, and B, to execute it sufficiently.
Yeah, we don't mean to make you believe that we've cheapened the game here or anything like that just to make it so anybody can win. It has happened where anything is possible in 9-ball. That's just a fact of the game. This is very tough conditions here. It doesn't matter what kind of tournament you're in, though. Pressure's the great equalizer, and I hate using this cliche, but it fits here. The cream always does rise to the top. It really does in this sport.
Along the way, some favorites will fall. Now Nick determining how much of an angle he wants to give Niels on the pink 4-ball. He can go 2 rails or 1 rail towards the 4. That's personal preference. In this manner, using that second rail, he could play it with a little more oomph. They look good. They were looking good on the practice table. Just one more candidate for the title this week. I'd say there are about 7, 8 really strong teams. Nicely played. Nice, eh? It's almost like watching a clinic here. This is how you want to make your opponent feel. You want to make them feel like they're not there, like you don't see them. That's what champions make you feel like if you're up against them.
Indeed, it is all team Netherlands. And the Hungarians will just sit back and watch as their opponents break off in rack number 3. And we noticed that teams are getting the measure of the break so far. Your call. And here, Holland. There you can see quarterfinals in 2009, runner-up in 2013, and that oh-so-close runner-up there in 2014, 2 away from the title. But they didn't get it. Round 2, they saw the exits in 2015. Still very capable. As Alex just said, definitely Holland, one of the favorites here this week. Nick Vandenberg.
Okay, I'm anxious to see Nick's break. He's a very smart breaker, always capable to find the good speed. He's not that much of a power breaker. But that's actually the example of what I was saying. Very efficient speed, he played it. Nothing too much, just making that wing ball, controlling the cue ball.
Wing balls for everybody's been going into that bottom right-hand corner.
Now this shot that is super difficult. The shot that he has on the 1. Because in order to get position on the 2, Niels will need to give it speed and spin. And the cue ball being almost frozen to the rail, that's super difficult. So they chose to not attack the ball. This was not a missed pot, it was an intentional overcut to use that axis of the 9, 7 and 5 to hide behind. Juan Gabor is supervising. Gabor Antal put his finger on the rail to see where he can hit and if it will be enough. He's gonna need to make that cue ball curve into the 1. A lot of right hand spin. Nice shot. Nice shot. Very nice. A lot of quality in that execution. It's easy to overhit that shot. This week already we've seen on a couple of attempts on shots like these that players have overhit the ball too hard, too much deflection, resulting in a miss and a ball in hand. Oh, nice. A kick and stick by Nick Vandenberg. Perfect speed.
Dutch very happy to play safety right now.
This is the nice thing about 9-ball for me. It's not the running of the balls, but the battle for the initiative. Save, resave. Here a good shot by Solimosi.
But he's left it on.
Yeah, does not get rewarded. Straight in on the 1, Niels is.
I always like that story about Niels Fyen, how for many years Niels was a very offensive player, and then, you know, a few years ago he came to a point in his career and he just said, you know what, when am I going to win that world championship? And a lot of people were whispering in the sport of pool saying, you know, Niels, awesome career for 15, 16 years, but he could be one of the best players to never win a world title. He went out, and I guess you would know a lot about this and how he did it, but he learned the safety play, didn't he? He studied it and he worked on it for hours and hours and hours, and you taught him, right?
Well, I helped him. I helped him. The game is the teacher, like CJ Wiley says. The game is the teacher if you have an unbiased perception. Okay, but maybe that's too deep to go into.
But what wasn't too deep was that it paid off, well, dividends big time, because Niels went and had the a run in his career that was the best ever, and he won the World Pool Masters, he won the World 9-ball championship.
Yeah, the World Pool Masters, he whitewashed Mika Immonen and beat Pegelein 8-2. He destroyed the field there. Was played in North England, if I remember well. But what I learned, in short, when I started working with like 20-year-old players about defense and safety game, that it's no use to talk about it, to conceptualize it. It's better to just give them exercises and make them practice it, and then they'll get the knowledge. First the experience, and then the knowledge. But the battle for the initiative won by Holland, and then with that one long shot on the one ball, with a perfectly controlled cue ball, they're running out for a 3-0 lead.
That's right. And safeties, yeah, by nature they're defensive, but they can also be very offensive.
Yeah, that's for the player to decide. So containing safety is where you play to not leave a shot. It's actually a waiting shot, opposed to an aggressive safety where you're really trying to gain a ball in hand.
Notice the rhythm that these two have.
Yeah, they make a very good start here. A fine start in the World Cup of Pool. It's day 3 already. Every day we see better pool. On the first day, I must say, all teams were quite shaky.
Nick Vandenberg deposits the 9. Holland on a roll. They lead Hungary 3-0. And we'll be right back here at the 12bet.com World Cup of Pool. Welcome back to Your Call. China just getting by a very scrappy Portuguese side. Holland up 3-0. Coming up next, second-seeded Austria versus Sweden. And our evening session, the last of our first-round matches, USA with the great Shane Van Boning. They'll be taking on Singapore. And then our second round begins. Japan, Canada, and Finland, India to cap things off.
Rack 4, the break for Niels Vijen. Perfectly squatted cue ball, and look at that one. It says bump. Out there for an easy shot.
Well, coach, that gets an A+ from you, doesn't it? Park that cue ball right down center of the table.
Yeah, good shot. Good shot.
Hey, you're starting to speak like an American now. You spent too much time in the States, I think.
Well, I wish. I love it out there. I like one pocket, and that's a game only played in the States.
And bank pool.
Banks, yes sir. That's my game. So a good shot on the 2, straight in. Now on this table, sometimes the players will get surprised by the acceleration of the cue ball when they're playing a draw shot. It was obvious when Ruiz yesterday played a draw shot in Spain's match. So Niels here will not play a draw. I expect him to stun
Extension
draw.
called.
So hitting just below center. Punching the ball a bit more. Now the same tip position for Nick, a little below center, adding one tip of right spin to go towards that long rail, I thought. But he's playing a high ball.
Ooh, very close, but it drops.
Yeah, good shot.
Scotch doubles pool. That one of the keys is not to do too much talking with your opponent. Just let your teammate, just let your teammate get on with it. Maybe confer with each other in real difficult situations. Mostly, just get on with it. These guys have it down.
Now running the cue ball a little wild because he had so much angle on the 5. Or slow spin it with a trace of right spin, staying on the left side of the 7. Or if the knuckle of the side pocket is not a problem, just play for the same pocket. They're looking smooth. Not on autopilot. For example, seeable on that 5 ball that Niels played. They're not on autopilot, but very solid. Now it's getting interesting to see if they can do what other teams had trouble with to close out a match. So now they're playing for a 4-0 lead. If they're going to be able to extend this play until the last ball.
Break and run for Team Holland. And Hungary can only sit and watch the mastery of the Dutch. They look really good right now.
I'm looking forward to see Skylar Woodward and Shane Van Boning play. They're going to be up against Singapore. Also today we're going to be having here in York Hall a press conference by the Mosconi Cup team captains Johan Ruysink and Marcus Chamat. I hope, I don't know, we can get to show some of it, but the first words are going to be spoken.
And there we see
5.
Team Spain on the
Holland to
left.
break. Leading
David
4 right
Alcady, Francisco Ruiz. And on the right, that's Team Poland, Wojciech Szewczak and Matusz Śniegacki. Both those squads are still alive.
Yeah.
Will be playing in the round of 16.
By the skin of their teeth, I can add those 4 guys
That's
responsible for the 2 best comebacks in the tournament. Spain was down 6-4 against Romania. Romania, Robert Braga broke dry. And then Spain won the next 3 games on the trot, not letting the Romanians back at the table. And the Polish were losing 5-1 and managed to claw their way back into the tournament.
So yellow onto the black.
Hold it. Little bump. Now try to get straight in on the 2 ball. The 6 poses most problem on this table because the 6 ball only, the green 6 ball only has 1 pocket. So this is a good shot by Nick. Now Niels, if he plays this shot right, straight in on the 3 ball, then with a stop shot on the 3 ball, they'll have an automatic angle to go from the 5 to the left side of the 6.
Extension call.
This is the key shot. Play this well and then it's connect the dots from there.
Referee Nigel Reese told me before the start of today's play that he came in and he racked the balls, and he said he was amazed at how easy it was to get all the balls frozen, whereas in the first 2 days it wasn't like that, and he was having a bit of problem getting the balls frozen. You know, they don't have to be 100% frozen, they just have to be as tight as possible. But what do you attribute that to? Obviously, if they're frozen, they're easily frozen together, we're going to see a lot more balls made on the break. Well, but why do you think that they are easier to freeze now than yesterday?
I think for two reasons. I think where the wreck is, that after 2 days of play and all the breaks that we have had, there are minuscule dents in the cloth, so more places for the balls to sit, but also a little more moist in the cloth and on the balls. Even though they get cleaned and polished all the time, they're not as new as they were on day one, match one, break one. And humidity makes the balls cling, makes the balls stay together well. That's why straight pull on a humid club table is not fun. Straight pull where you need to open clusters a lot. The balls stick together more.
This guy right here, Niels Fine, a straight pull world champion. Yeah, he loves straight pull.
Well, in Holland we love straight pull. We played a lot. It's one of the 4 disciplines played at the European Championships, and it's the first one played. And if we get a medal, if the players win a medal at the European Championships, they're guaranteed a yearly income for a year long.
That's pretty good.
It's worth money, so even in the preparation for the European Championships, this discipline is giving a lot of attention, so they can draw first blood at straight pull.
5-0 now in favor of the Dutch, and I've been wanting to say something about Hungary, but that guy on the left there, Gabor Antal. Gabor Antal. I'm looking at his player profile sheet. Everybody lists their favorite player.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's like Efren Reyes, Wu Cha-ching. Take a guess who his favorite player is.
Okay, people. He put my name up there, so I'm just guessing. he wants to be sure to get good press while we're commentating his match.
Yes, Gabor Antal's favorite player is indeed Alex Lely.
Rack 6, the break off.
That makes you feel good. That has to make you feel really good.
I'm vain. Break off for Niels Vaaije. Squatted that cue ball on his previous attempt. Good hit, and if that one ball stops right there, no shot on.
Okay, so we will finally get a chance to see the Hungarians at the table.
Now, if Nick sees part of that one ball, he has options, but he can't. So they're playing a push, and Nick now asking referee Brendan Moore who will get the shot when the push out is played, and then give him back by the opponents. So actually, I think it's more interesting if player A would need to push out and player B would need to play it, because then there would be more deliberation by both players. Now the push out played by Nick. Team G, both Gabors come out to decide whether to play or give back. They're down 5-0. I understand that they choose to go for it. Ultra difficult putt on the one ball.
This is Gabor Antal, the Alex Lely super fan.
Now, that's the reason why sometimes you want to attack, even though it could seem ill-advised, because attacking can still get lucky. If you're losing a match, you have to play like a lion. If you have a big lead, you can afford to play like a mouse. You can play more conservative. Ooh, that one ball is not controlled by Niels. Distracted there by the shot clock. First unforced error for Niels.
And this is the point when you have your opponents get an unforced error. You've got to execute and get out.
Nice shot. Nice shot. Rail first. Now the 7 ball is a little nasty because he needs to avoid contact there. He can do that by hitting the cue ball below center, a little bit of left spin, but then he needs to watch out to not snooker the other Gabor behind the 8 ball. Did hit the 7, did snooker behind the 8 ball. Kick shot required by Gabor. He's looking at a 2-railer. That's you know, a shot that is well controllable. 2-rail underneath. A more aggressive shot would be to play 1-rail. Finesse the cue ball behind the 9.
Now, can Nick Vandenberg see the red 3?
He can see it, he can make it. It's a long shot with angle. Oh, it's a blood test. We can see actually how good he's cueing the ball. Didn't feel the need to attack. Trusted his gut feeling, and that was to duck.
So important that Hungary get out of this rack with a point.
Yeah, I don't see them win the safety battle here. Look, if they clip that 3 ball,
Extension call.
the 3 ball is going to be over the left-hand pocket. That means that there's a lot of pressure on the cue ball, on controlling that cue ball, hiding it behind the 7, the 4 or 8. And for that reason, he was in a trap. Gabor Antal was in a trap.
And that's why you play those safeties. Here's the opening the Dutch were looking for.
Niels is taking time
Extension
now.
call.
He's figuring out what the best way to play the shot is. How much spin, how much deflection, to feel the reaction off of the rails with that amount of side spin. It doesn't pass the 8 ball. So a very severe angle for Nick Vandenberg. Ranked #1 on the European Mosconi Cup ranking. In a good spot to secure his place for this year's edition. Nice hit.
Yeah.
Subtle. Subtle. He's a field player. It's a very nice touch when he's on form, and he is. Great sense for the speed of the table, the speed of the ball.
Well, at this point, just a matter of time, and probably not a lot of time, for the Dutch to move into the final 16 here at the World Cup of Pool.
going to be up against Biado and Johan Chua.
Well, that'll be great.
Yeah,
Philippines
nice.
versus Holland, two
Nice lineup.
great pool playing nations. So Nicky Vandenberg now will take this 9 down. It's 6-0. Holland going for the whitewash next in rack number 7. That 9-ball from Nick Vandenberg puts Holland up 6-0, 1 away from a sure spot in the final 16. There you see China winning over Portugal 7-5 in our earlier match. Coming up next, Austria versus Sweden. Our evening session starts off with our last match of the first round. USA and the great Shane Van Boening taking on Singapore. Then it's Japan, Canada to start things off in our second round. And then Finland versus India in our nightcap. Ball down in the corner. 9-ball tracking towards the corner pocket. So is there a shot on the 1? If there's a shot, Alex, do you take a crack at this one?
Yeah, of course.
There you
of course. It's sitting in a nice line.
1-9 combination. Yeah. And there it is. Just like that. Holland through to the final 16 with a 7-0 whitewash of Hungary. So the journey continues for that elusive World Cup of Pool crown that the Dutch came so close to grabbing just a few years ago. All smiles now for Niels Fijn and Nick Vandenberg. Great performance, solid, workmanlike performance, as you would expect from Team Holland.
Welcome back to Bethnal Green. This 1-9 combo there saw the Dutch side 7-0 winners against Hungary. Let's have a look at the stats. See there's 0 dry breaks. We said the table's been running now. We can see that when we're watching. Successful breaks, 6 for the Dutch side. Average balls on break, 1.0 each. And break and runs, 4 I should say, for the Dutch, and 6 break and wins for them. And I can say Niels and Nick join me now. Congratulations on the win. Plain sailing for you guys today.
Yeah, we got off to a pretty good start. I think we were a little lucky to win rack 1 because I made an error and then they scratched on the 4 right away. So we got going after that. The break was clicking really well. And Nick played some really nice recovery shots. And overall, I think played a really solid match. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick, when the breaks are just sinking like that, it's quite easy, isn't it? It looks easy from where I'm sitting.
Normally you try to make a ball, but now you're trying to control the 1 ball. And I hit the knuckle of the side pocket a few times, so we had a tough shot sometimes the first time. But we played solid and we made some good outs.
There was a tricky rack in there. Rack number 6, I think, comes to mind, where there's a lot of safety and stuff. How did you get into that kind of frame of mind when everything that you was doing was turning to gold before that?
Well, I mean, if you're just making the balls and all you have to do is control the cue balls, different kind of game. But if you have to control both balls now in safety game, it requires a little more touch, and you just have to adapt. And but it is a little bit more speed control for the table that you need. So you need to know the table really well.
And you took your chances really well. You're going to need to do that in the next match because you're up against the Philippines, which is going to be a clash of the Titans.
Yeah, we have some bad memories of playing the Philippines last time in the doubles. We lost the final, I think it was 11-9. So we're here to take revenge.
And the last thing that I'm going to ask you is about the 2014 final. We saw that the pressure can get to you. You missed the 8 ball and then England went on to win that. Do you think this year you can turn it around and take the title?
Of course, I mean, everybody, what everybody only remembers is one ball in that tournament is the 8 ball. That, of course, was the climax of the event, anti-climax for us. But I mean, we played really solid that year, and I think we played really solid the previous year. So I mean, one ball is just one ball, and I think if we play the same level, we can go all the way once again.
Well, listen, congratulations on a great win today, guys, and we'll let you get ready for that match against the Philippines.